Jagjeet Kaur Khalsa, Gursikhi Fateh. Yesterday I was involved in a discussion on a Sikh forum with a Yogi Bhajan follower. And Yogi Bhajan follower made the statement that 3HO, which is the organization under Yogi Bhajan's group, does not charge for spiritual names. So I did some investigation, went on Google and searched for requests for spiritual name in 3HO, and I want to show you what I came up with. So here's the first page you come up with if you go to the spiritual name request for 3HO. They ask for your name, of course, your birth date, and I assume this is for using the numerological system that Yogi Bhajan invented in order to persuade people that he had some secret ancient knowledge about their destiny based on their birth date. So anyway, they're asking for the birth date, contact information, your email address, your address, and I assume that they need that in order to send you the spiritual name and to also maybe send you other information about donations that they want or for yoga class and things like that. So they ask for who is your yoga teacher here. Assumes, I suppose, that you take yoga and that's who you came to find this spiritual name request. So then the next page goes right into asking for a donation. And what I find interesting here is that they ask for 35 all the way up to 1,000 in donations. It says your spiritual name is as a technology holds the key to your own destiny. Everything truly valuable requires an exchange of energy. Yogi Bhajan taught that consciousness-raising technologies are most valued when something is given in return. It is in the giving that your prosperity is assured, as your contribution signals the universe that you are ready to receive. Well, at the least, this is a pretty heavy pitch, sales pitch for contributing. There's a lot of pressure, the way it looks like to me, for people to contribute. So I think that this idea that 3HO doesn't charge for spiritual names appears to be a distortion, at the least, of the truth. And at worst, it's really preying on the weaknesses of, or the innocence, I should say, of innocent yoga students by implying that Yogi Bhajan's got some secret occult power to be able to tell what your destiny is. So I want to point out that as a Sikh, which I've been a Sikh for 35 years, and part of Yogi Bhajan's group, actually, for most of that time, I observed a lot of these type of scams. And now that I started to understand more about real Sikhism, I understood now that these spiritual names, as Yogi Bhajan calls them, can be received for free if you just follow the correct Sikh manner in order to attain one of these spiritual names. You can write me and I can tell you more about that, but just simply put, we as Sikhs have a Siri Guru Granth, which is our guru. So there that we keep in our gurdwaras, and even at home sometimes people have the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. There, a special room kept for the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. And you can get a spiritual name just by simply taking what we call Hukamnama, going to the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib, and picking out the first letter that you come to on the page. And then from that, you can make a spiritual name. There are any number of Sikh names or spiritual names that you can pick from using that first letter from a Hukamnama from the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib. Anyway, it's completely free, and the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib will give you the correct spiritual name for your person as you pray. It's required that you pray before you ask the Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib for this spiritual name. So anyway, if you write me, I can tell you more about that and how that works. I also want to point out here that we're on this subject about how 3HO uses the Sikh religion to make money, how they distort these things about the Sikh religion and about yoga too. And Yogi Bhajan did this all his life and built this huge billions-dollar empire based on this sexually energizing yoga that he taught. And this is an ad you can see from the 70s where Yogi Bhajan was even advertising in his Beads of Truth magazine, the sexually energizing tantric yoga, as he called it. And he made lots and lots of money off of this, and still the Yogi Bhajan followers have lots of teacher training courses. You can see here how they're advertising for Indian course in India. These are all these Yogi Bhajan asanas. And they charge up to, I've seen 5,000 or more for this teacher training. It's a lot of money that they're asking for something that is really just made up by Yogi Bhajan. There was a scholarly academic report that was done by Philip Deslepi, and he's studying to do his PhD there at Santa Cruz University, I believe, California State University there. And so he put together this really in-depth report, called it Maharaj Daman Tantrik, how he showed how Yogi Bhajan constructed and basically made up all of these Kundalini yoga exercises, tantric exercises. And so I made some videos about this recently, about this academic study. It shows that Yogi Bhajan's Kundalini yoga is really a fraud. And the 3HO people are trying to sell this yoga as being some ancient secret. Well, it's not true. Sadly, I have to say that Yogi Bhajan was a real scamster, and he really misled a lot of people. I came to realize this after spending a lot of time in India in 2007, 2008. Met a lot of real Sikhs there. So Yogi Bhajan had a lot of scams. He created these tantric necklaces, which his people are now selling for thousands of dollars. And you can see him here displaying one. And they say that these necklaces are blessed by Yogi Bhajan. This was an article written by this Hari Jivan Singh, who I knew quite well when I was in 3HO. And he was charged by the Federal Trade Commission for a field of schemes, it was called, for selling these gems. And so they're still involved with selling them, and you can see Hari Jivan with this Yogi Bhajan there at Jerry's Jewelry in Beverly Hills, where we used to go when I was on security there in the 1980s. So they lived a lavish lifestyle, Yogi Bhajan and Hari Jivan and these henchmen, Yogi Bhajans. And what's really sad is how the Yogi Bhajan people still worship Yogi Bhajan, and now they're creating this whole stage over Yogi Bhajan's 10th anniversary of his death, and they're making a big celebration of this. They're going to be having, I guess, a huge bronze statue of Yogi Bhajan, which you can see here they're creating, and they're asking again for donations for that. I think it could cost up to $50,000 for this thing. And so it's always a case where they're always asking for donations. They want to live this lavish lifestyle created around this cult leader, Yogi Bhajan. And I have to say, Yogi Bhajan was very clever in creating all of these gimmicks that really are complete nonsense and completely against Sikh teachings. Sikhs don't believe in all these auspicious times and astrology and these tantric necklaces and all these things that Yogi Bhajan's people are selling and making money off of. And they create all of these things, and they know that Yogi Bhajan's image, that all of these practices that are more based in Hinduism are colorful and magical in their design and their what they might give you is they try to create this belief that all these magical things will create this happiness for you. And then they also design it around your birthday, and they say this is special for you, and that your destiny will be individually given if you buy these spiritual names or you buy these tantric necklaces. They're designed for you specially, and all these things. And again, Sikhs don't believe in this. It's really nonsense. And so many of these Yogi Bhajan followers, this Gurmukh Kaur has become like a poster yogi. She's got a big yoga center there in Hollywood. And she does all of these teacher trainings there in Rishikesh, charges thousands of dollars. I saw the advertisement for these teacher trainings, and it's upward of $5,000 that she charges. And they live a very lavish lifestyle. These are again pictures of Yogi Bhajan's Hindu last rite ceremony there in Rishikesh at the Paramatma Kirtan Ashram there. And so all of these things again are designed for yoga students to buy and to do. Yogi Bhajan created this art, which is pretty phallic here and shows pretty much his attitude and character. He's written power there. And again, they sell these things. They've got books that have these images in them, and always something to buy. Always something for people to buy and get energy from. That's their favorite thing, is they talk about getting energy from these things that are blessed by Yogi Bhajan. They've even got T-shirts here, trending Yogi Bhajan T-shirts. They sell Yogi tea. This is one of their biggest money makers, this Yogi tea. They use images of Sikh symbols and Gurbani, which is really against Sikh teachings. We don't commercialize Sikh teachings, but yet you can see here how they use images of the Golden Temple, which is the Sikhs' holiest shrine. They put this on there, show people around there drinking yogi tea. Really very disrespectful. And you know, Sikhs have always had a big problem with what Yogi Bhajan did, and what 3HO people are still doing. But the 3HO people seem to just ignore all of these protests from the traditional Sikh community. You can see here they've used the candy bars with the image of the Golden Temple on there, and they use Gurbani, which is our Sikh holy scriptures, the Waheguru Chu they call it. They use images of the Sikh images there, this Kunda, which is a Sikh symbol, and they've got these yogic figures there, and they try to integrate the idea of yoga with Sikhs. And yoga has nothing to do with Sikhs. Yoga is not part of Sikhi at all, or the Sikh religion. But Yogi Bhajan tried to tie it all in because it gave him credibility. It gave him this air of greatness if he used an already existing religion in order to promote his Kundalini yoga and his tantric yoga. I want to point out how all of these organizations are tied together. SikhNet, which many of you may have heard about, is one of the largest Sikh websites, and they are really part of this whole entire Yogi Bhajan group. 3HO, they're all funded from the same sources. You can see here, these are grants that were given from the profits of Yogi Tea and some of the other Yogi Bhajan businesses. The numbers are right here, black and white. This was from a memo that was sent out from the 3HO headquarters. You can see how SikhNet's gotten all this money, and then 3HO. They're always asking for donations, too. Donate, donate, donate. I get emails all the time about this. So you can see here another flow chart how SikhNet is tied in with all these other organizations. There was a recent lawsuit where some of the Yogi Bhajan followers were suing each other over these billions of dollars, and just shows you how elevated and enlightened they are. They're fighting over all these billions of dollars. And so some of the important provisions in this settlement agreement that they reached were that they were not to criticize or disparage Yogi Bhajan or any of his organizations. So they made sure that the public wouldn't be exposed to any of their fighting, any of their criticisms of each other or Yogi Bhajan for that matter. And so it's right in their settlement that they have to legally not criticize Yogi Bhajan. The other important thing here, I think, is that, especially for Sikhs who might be watching this video, is that Yogi Bhajan's organizations have to teach the Sikh religion as taught by Yogi Bhajan. So if anything that Yogi Bhajan says conflicts with the Siri Guru Granth Sahib or the Sikh Rahat, which many times it did, as you can see, there was astrology that he taught, which is against the Sikh code of conduct, and many other things. The 3HO people have to go with what Yogi Bhajan said. And this is very disturbing. This means that basically Yogi Bhajan is their guru, not the Siri Guru Granth Sahib. This is what this is in effect saying. And SikhNet is part of this agreement. You can see here where the arrows are. It's a real wake-up call. And I think for Sikhs, they should be aware of this. We should protest and send letters to SikhNet, making them aware that they are going against the Siri Guru Granth Sahib and the Sikh code of conduct. Now, I will mention there are a couple really good books that I recommend reading. The first one is a book written by a Dr. Trilochan Singh back in the 1970s. And he spent months with Yogi Bhajan. He went around with Yogi Bhajan for several months, and he wrote this book, which was a very in-depth book, which was critical of Yogi Bhajan, and also tried to reach out to the 3HO people in order to give them more information about Sikhi. This book is available on my website, gurmukyoga.com, and I'll put a link to it at the bottom of the description of this video. And you can see for yourself in this book that I'm not the only one who criticizes 3HO. Dr. Trilochan Singh was doing this back in the 1970s. Then there's my book I wrote about 2 years ago. It's available on Amazon. It's called Confessions of an American Sikh. It's only 99 cents. I have it as the cheapest price that I possibly can on Amazon, so you can read it. I'll also just send you a free PDF copy if you just don't feel like paying the 99 cents. So there's a couple books there. And then this Maharaj the Mantantric is a very good article. It's available for free on the internet now at this point. And I'll put a link to that as well. And you can read about how Yogi Bhajan made up most of what he taught. And it's really designed to keep people in his cult. The yoga is really not beneficial, in my opinion. All right, well, thank you for your time. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.